fix the title later, period. But I wanted to make one other video. Yeah, I was supposed to add extra to the Exodus um video. I was actually doing kind of like a review on this video. On the video, I forgot to mention a few things. Yeah, I don't know, I was just kind of like focusing on the video a little too much there. But it's just like, to me, there are channels like this where I am of a mindset where I don't really know why it's actually needed, really, to, well, basically for me, I think that she is needed, but I feel like personally it's hard for me with channels like these because it's like I have a hard time with this relating to it, really. But I feel like women who go through her situation, um, they need channels like these because it helps them kind of like expose the whole idea of struggle love. That's the thing for me. It's like I don't really understand that whole struggle love situation with any race because it's like for me, I have already said with when I was 20, I had this whole situation with transgender people who would tell me how their like life was because they decided to get with people who would just take them even though they weren't like the preference. And so even though they weren't preferred, and they weren't wanted really, and they weren't really a good match, they still went with them because it was better than being alone. Um, and I heard the horror stories in that, and for me, it was just like, oh, well, yeah, that's not for me. Like, I don't do relationships or anything that seems like it's a bad fit. Because why would I do something with a bad fit with anyone when I could just be alone and not be around them altogether, you know? But, you know, I understand it and I understand that, I understand that some women, need to have that exposed so then they can understand all the things that they've gone through and relate to it and see how it's not worth it. I also think it's really good. It's a really good channel for those who are like new divestors. For me, I'm not really a new divestor. I'm not an old divestor either. I'm just natural. Like, I don't have a sense of, divesting from the black community because I never really was a part of the black community. And so to me, it's just like, I don't relate to that. And then also other parts of it, like, you know, there's also other parts of platforms that are like more divestiture for me. That is more like black women, who are, attracted to, black men. And from my point of view, channels like that generally are attracted to black men. You can tell from my perception at least. But, if I were in their situation, I probably wouldn't be smart enough not to be with the black men, honestly, because the way I am, I would probably be with them, but I wouldn't be in a relationship. That's just how I am. But I would understand and think that it is a good idea for some people to, you know, be with people who are, better for them and not to entertain people who might be not so good for them. So I do understand that. I just don't relate to it because it's like for me, channels like these kind of are like focused on, you know, the emotional aspect to it. And to me, I guess I have a different mindset. I have a sense of, well, if there's someone out there for you, then just go with that one who's there for you and just look for the needle in the haystack kind of situation. I understand though, like in America, because the majority of people are white and Hispanic, I mean, it makes sense to go with someone who is, you know, of another race, I guess. Honestly, if there was enough, like, if there was mostly Asian men in this country, I don't think I would just try and focus on finding one attractive. I don't think I can. Black men, I would try a little bit better. I would try a little harder because I feel like I could maybe with the mixed men, if we're including mixed men with black men. But anyway, like, I don't know. Some people, I guess, are more emotionally attached than physically. So, I mean, like, do what you gotta do in those cases. Um, Also, another part of channels like this that I don't relate to is more so like channels that talk about like not being preferred and tying it into colorism. And I want to do a video on that as well, but not as specific to just not being preferred. There's more to it. But like, I don't relate to that because for me, it's like my issue is harassment. It's the opposite, actually. It's being preferred by black men and having problems with black men generally in that regard. You know, kind of like for me, it's always been very similar to like basically being a lesbian, basically. And a lot of lesbians talk about how they were people tried to basically make them straight or whatever, or try to push their straight lifestyle on them. It's kind of like the same thing with black men to me. It's like a lot of the time I felt like more so that was impressed upon me, but I couldn't do anything about it because I didn't have any attraction. So people who talk on these channels is like I don't really relate to anything that they're talking about on those regards. And people have like been with black men, have children with black men, have attraction to black men, but they have some issue concerning the emotional side of it. It's quite like for me, I can't relate to that. Personally, for me, I think if I was um my interactions with black men emotionally, like I said, have never been that problematic. My problem has always been that they were too nice because they wanted to get their dicks up. So then I made sure, that they didn't bother me because the best thing you can do with a man who's harassing you is get him kind of like to an upset place so then he can leave you alone. At least that was my experience. But I do respect the idea that, some people, even though they might prefer black men, that they would be attracted to, black men, but they would still think that they, deserve to be treated better. And it's like, to me, I kind of feel like that's at least knowing your self worth. And I think she puts that in a good perspective for black women and tries to look for the best interest of black women. I might not relate, but I do see good in her channel, and that's what I just really wanted to impress upon in this video, because in the previous video I did talk a bit negatively about how she talked about white women and black men. To me, I don't see her content as problematic in most ways. It's just like a lot of the time with divestors, they talk a lot about white women. And for me, I personally don't have anything against white women. I grew up with a lot of white women. So for me, I don't really care. Like I probably have more of a preference towards white women. I don't like saying that out loud because people tend to think negative things about me simply because I not one to have an issue with them. But yeah, I just don't really have that much of a bad experience with white women generally and black men at all. Um, but I do see some good in her channel. And, I think like with the other video, I was just watching this other video and that's kind of got me to talk about the other video I made just a second ago. And I do agree with her on black men. I think that it's a good view for many black women to have if they prefer black men sexually, because, I mean, at least they're thinking about what's good for them emotionally, even if they are attracted to black men. So I feel like in all, she does keep black women level headed, and that is much appreciated. But like I said, it's just a channel that I can't really relate to because my experiences aren't quite the same. It's like most of my problems have been my sexuality. The fact that I don't have any sexual attraction to black men. So that's just generally it. It's like the fact that I don't have any sexual attraction to them and the fact that they do have an interest in me. And it's just like, there's a whole big problem there, but it's not issues with relationships with them because I've never really tried those. You know, I've never been married to one, I've never had children with one, I've never dated one. So when people talk about, the problems with black love, it's always like, for me, I don't really relate because what do I, pay attention to black love for? What do I need to concern myself with black love? If I'm not experiencing black love, if I don't care about black love for myself, then I mean, like, why would I care if it goes wrong or if it goes good? To me, like those things, it's like asking me like if a lesbian relationship went good or bad. I mean, like if all lesbian relationships went good, I mean, it wouldn't make me want to be a lesbian because I don't like girls. The same thing here. And I've said this before, like even if black men were all billionaires, I still wouldn't want to marry one because it's just like I still don't have enough interest. My body, my literal body, has no interest or sexual desire there. So, yeah, it's just, I feel like often the talk about sexual attraction and lack of attraction is missing on some platforms. And so for me, it's like I can't really associate with that. I can't watch it, but I do see the good in it, you know. And it's like, with spoilers and divestors, we do it for different reasons, We do. We have our different reasons for being interested in other races, you know. And some of us are attracted to black people, and some of us aren't attracted to black people. Some of us are attracted to mixed people. Like, I'm one of those people who's attracted to mixed people. I'm more attracted to mixed men than I am to white men. But the thing is, the percentage of mixed men really doesn't exist. So for me, it's like, you know, I go with what is available. So what's available for me that I'm attracted to, I look it out. Is white or Hispanic men. So that's what I generally mostly interested in, or at least talk to. Heck, for an update too, I thought I was actually talking to a mixed person and was dating one, but I actually found out they were Hispanic. But anyway, I guess this video is long enough. I have like 2 more videos I want to do tonight, but I'm getting tired. I'm gonna make the outline of these 2 videos coming up next. One's gonna be, well, actually both are kind of gonna be about colorism, and yes, they're kind of inspired by 2 different people that I watch. And yeah, I'm gonna just do those videos probably in the morning, I guess. I'm still not really tired enough to go to sleep, but I'll try. All right, thanks for watching. Have a great day. Bye.